Well, it's given us a great opportunity to rise to the challenges of a series of government reviews and to really look hard at the problems, the perceived problems of health and safety in this country. We've talked about the misperceptions about health and safety, the misunderstandings about health and safety legislation and how it's interpreted. And we really are keen to give the government the message that people deserve to go home at the end of a working day alive, fit, healthy and ready for the next day's work. Well, the only change that's actually come into effect so far is the new Register of Consultants, known as OSHCA. And I think the jury is still out on that. We need to run it for a good year to see how that's going to settle in and whether indeed it brings the sort of benefits that we hope it will bring. The key initiatives is a new HSE online risk assessment tool. This is a good thing in general terms, but we're concerned that it does introduce a sort of tick box mentality into risk assessment, and that's not necessarily a good thing. There's evidence, of course, in other sectors that less regulation doesn't always mean better performance. If you think about the banking sector, for example, where a light touch in regulation has in fact led to incredible problems and difficulties and almost meltdown in that sector. So we need to sound a note of caution here and hopefully work with the government to come up with the middle ground, light enough touch to improve things, but strong enough to actually maintain the discipline and the rigour that's needed. Professor Lofstad has been appointed by the Minister, Chris Grayling, to lead a panel who are reviewing and calling for evidence on the mass of health and safety legislation and regulation that has grown up over the years since the 1974 Act. And we've really taken our time and counselled our members' views in responding to that request for information. I'm very proud of the document that we've submitted, and I think we've covered all angles in commenting to Professor Lofstad and his team on the IOSH members' views, and that is critically important. After all, it's our members, the professionals, the practitioners, who are out there in the field dealing with these issues on a day-by-day basis. Well, I guess our key message all the time is that standards must not drop. We've already seen with the latest figures that have come out in June from the HSE that the number of fatalities in the workplace and days lost through ill health have risen, and that's a warning sign. After all, it takes several years sometimes for the effect of changes or relaxation in regulations or inspections to really come through and show itself. So we need to be clear that this instant warning sign doesn't develop and create problems for the future. I think it's all about making the case within the businesses in which members work. You need to rise to the challenge of these changes, but constantly adapt yourself, adapt your messages so that the people who lead and run businesses understand the key central importance of good health and safety, pragmatic, sensible health and safety to guide businesses into a profitable future.